I don't hate to say I told you so, but I told you so, right? I mean, all the teams are power conference schools, and more than anything, I counted like 3 or 4 where there was a real disparity between haves and have-nots financially and success in the tournament. Right? Just kind of go through it, and you're like, wait, why weren't there more upsets? And by the way, if you want to say McNeese is an upset over Clemson, you don't actually know the sport. I would guess that McNeese spends as much or more money on NIL as Clemson does. And you're like, Clemson's in the ACC. I know. Just take my word for it. So what we've done is we've made college basketball, and I actually think college football, we've made it like Major League Baseball. That's what we've done, Major League Baseball. And in Major League Baseball, there's a reason the Dodgers have been in the playoffs. How many consecutive years have they been in the playoffs there, Jay Stu? It seems like 15 straight years.
But since like 2013, was that like 12 years or something?
Yeah. And the disparity is even more great now, and you don't have a farm system, and there's rules and things in place. Okay, like, look, with Major League Baseball, you don't get arbitration eligible till what, your 4th year in the bigs. That's after you're in the minors. So there's a way actually to be kind of competitive, as we've seen with Tampa and with some of these other small market teams. But, I mean, if you ask yourself honestly, it's more of an upset when the Red Sox and Yankees and Cubs and Dodgers don't reach the playoffs than when they do reach the playoffs. You know, when the Padres don't win in the playoffs, or that, you know, all the teams with money, all the big market teams. And that's what we have in college basketball, even more so, though. Even more so. Because the disparity is, if we take what I am told is the budget of these teams, which are between 2.5 as the very least in, maybe 2 is the very least in Power 5 basketball, is $2 million. You're talking about teams at my level, at our level, and we're not at the top end of it, but the top end of my league, the Horizon League, is like $400,000. Okay, spread out amongst your roster. And again, we are nowhere, I'm telling you, I'm nowhere near the top. So you have you have the haves and the have-nots. And then you don't have binding lengthy contracts. So the reward for discovering a kid, recruiting a kid, developing a kid, and making a kid better is after a year, when they're really good, they move on and make more money. What you used to have at the college level, okay, is 4 and 5 year guys, maybe even a 6th year guy. And now what you have at the college level is, you have the 4 or 5 year guys, 6 year guys, but the bigger schools are buying those guys up because they know they're of more value. So, I mean, again, we can sit here and say what it's about and what it's not about. It's about the money. Don't get me wrong. You still need coaching. You still need role acceptance and guys to be put in the proper roles. The coaching hasn't changed, but the disparity in the talent has. And it's spread out among levels, but what's at the high major level, look, they can pay guys $150,000, $200,000 to sit on the bench. And it's hard for players. There are guys who are like, Coach, I'd like to come play for you, but I can make, that's money I'll never make playing basketball, to just sit there and to work out every day. And you can preach to them, hey, come play for us for 2 years, and you can make 2x, 3x, 4x of that. But there's no promise of that, and they all watch the tournament, and when 88% of one league makes the tournament, they're like, yeah, I could do that, but I get to be in the tournament. Not understanding that every basketball player has this thought of they're way better than they actually are. Most people do. So no matter what you're being paid, you think I'm going to prove them wrong and I'm going to play more and I'm going to be part of it. And you know, if you play in one of those leagues, there's a better than 50-50 shot you're going to play in the NCAA tournament. Why would you go to one of the Cinderellas? So I don't know if we've ruined it or if we've just stained it, or it's a stain that is fixable once we have some sort of playing field leveler. But that was a weird weekend to watch where without watching, you knew what the outcome was going to be if you had any sort of understanding of it. You know? I still enjoyed it. I still think there's really good basketball and there's really good stories. But again, if we're honest with ourselves, we have made it nearly impossible to ever have a Butler, to ever have because Butler at the time was in the Horizon League, to ever have a George Mason, to ever have a VCU, to ever have one of those. It's one thing to pull off a one-game upset, something that really didn't truly happen this year. It's a whole other thing to pull off 4 consecutive upsets against teams with 20, 30, 40 times the money.